Census employee. All right, like someone who goes door to door, right? Census takers. That's what they're called. So yes. we tell a story in the high stakes world of census taking, and we call the story "Taking Names."
That's the whole pitch. That's all we need.
That's it.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
Let me tell you something. Every time we record the intro, you know this. I'm saying this as listeners may not know this. I always end up saying, and I'm Seth in some stupid way, because you throw it to me and I'm like, well, I've got to be interesting and I got to do it differently than last time. But then I just feel like I'm doing the Craig Mazin thing from Script Notes. And so here I am again, not knowing how to say my name.
And your name is?
Oh, Seth.
And welcome back to the Writer's Room Game Show. It's the podcast where every week we generate an original feature film idea from scratch in under 60 minutes, working from a set of random prompts given to us by a big Hollywood studio.
You're right.
Seth, I am right.
You're always
that
right.
is the show. And thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Oh, wow. God, that was easy.
Seth, I wanted to update. So last week we had an episode where we did an adaptation of the Mario Bros. As a feature film. One of my favorite episodes that we've done in a very long time.
Yeah, me too. Idea or episode? I feel like it was one of my favorite ideas we've had.
I think both for me. I think Rene's edit was great on it. We had just a really fun
Rene, God bless. Let's say on mic, my love for Rene and the sounds he's putting into our show, the amount of life he's bringing to it.
Yes.
If you like something on our show.
He's the secret ingredient to this podcast that you guys may not know, but Rene is, he cuts a lot of fat out of these episodes, makes it feel like we're constantly bouncing off each other, cuts out all of the silence as we think about these ideas.
Paul and I are actually 500 pounds each, and Rene, using the power of technology, trims us down to a slim
and gives
280.
us six packs, and somehow
I don't weigh 280. I don't remember what I weigh. 250? Heavier than you think.
I'm getting in the two. Yeah, we both are the guys that appear thin, and then you look at them at a certain angle, you're like, actually, they're a little bit bigger than I thought.
Well, and that's us talking about ourselves, like not talking about each other, but just talking about third-person perspective of ourselves. Yeah.
But speaking of that episode, though, and I'm not just bringing this up because she's one of my biggest celebrity crushes, but I remembered while I was listening to the episode, Anya Taylor-Joy is playing Furiosa in the new Mad Max prequel.
Oh crap!
And she's also voicing Princess Peach in the new Mario movie.
Awesome.
So, retrospectively, I'm like, she is playing Furiosa Peach in our
that's awesome.
movie.
Then it completes the trifecta. The other thing that we need to talk about on Mike is the fact that almost every episode this season, the day we put it out, either that day or the day after, something is in the news directly related to our podcast, and we don't get any credit.
Absolutely insane.
No one calls us out. No one says recently featured on the Writer's Room Game Show. It's just Nicolas Cage is playing Dracula, and here's a picture, and it's all whacked out.
Cronenberg is releasing NFTs, like digital, the king of body cohort. I just sent you a clip this week. Tracy Morgan was on Conan and talked about people wanting him to become president.
Play that clip real quick, Rene.
You know I'm going to be president one day, right?
You're going to be president?
You think? I could run.
You could run for president?
Run, Trey, run.
Is that what people tell you when you see them?
That's what a lot of people tell me.
Really? You think with your background, you could run for president?
You know how many presidents got a felony? I could still become president with that felony. Why not?
I think you could, actually.
A lot of presidents got misdemeanors and felonies.
They do? I didn't know that.
Obama sniffed cocaine in college.
No, I don't think
He did. He said he did it enthusiastically.
Wow. See, it's just like we said.
We really trust Rene to put in the right clip.
I really hope you put that clip in there. But yeah, it is crazy that there's other things that have happened too that I feel like are just way too good to be true.
This is honestly how my life goes, is like I will come up with an idea for something and I'll live with it for a little while. And right as I start doing the work, something comes out that is exactly like it or very similar to it. And I quit forever.
Forever. Wow.
That's why I'm doing podcasts now. Yeah.
Well, Seth, I think you brought a interesting quote before we get into our movie idea. So let's get into it.
Hit the soundboard.
I heard an interesting quote. I'll play a clip of that quote so you can hear the quote and talk about it on our show.
Yeah. Today's interesting quote comes from it's actually this director that I'm a really big fan of, and I don't think I don't hear a lot about him in the press.
Does his name rhyme with Brian Lawley?
It does if you say it wrong. I'm going to give some context, though. This is because it's a short clip, but the context is important. This is from an event back in maybe 2012, 2013. It was a DGA event where James Cameron, it was like a panel. I don't know who was interviewing. Oh, it was for Super 8. James Cameron was interviewing J.J. Abrams and Steven Spielberg. And
wow.
So on the stage is James Cameron,
imagine being
J.J.
in that
Abrams,
room.
and Steven Spielberg. And it's online somewhere you can watch it. That's the only way I saw it because I'm not even remotely in the DGA. It's not a diss. I'm happy to be in the DGA.
I feel like you could be, but
at some point. So at this event, they were talking about Jurassic Park, and Cameron asked the question. Well, he asked it here. They're talking about the visual effects in Jurassic Park.
When did you see the first shot where you got to relax and say, "Okay, this is going to work"? How long into the production?
About 5 months after I finished shooting the movie. Yeah, that's how it usually works. It's usually when you're way past the point of no return. That's when it happens.
So essentially, I love, he asked him, when did you see the first shot that you knew you weren't screwed, that, the shots in Jurassic were going to work? And he said 5 months after we finished shooting the picture.
Hilarious.
Usually it's the point of no return. And I referenced that clip a ton in like talks and stuff and when talking about visual effects and directing in general, I've always talked about how like filmmaking in general, like making anything that counts takes like an equal amount of audacity and pragmatism, and it's this constant conversation and war between the two of them. And but like if I learned a long time ago that failing at something new is always more fulfilling than succeeding at something again.
Love that.
And like it's two quotes for the price of one here, one from Schoolboy and one from me.
We're so honored, Seth. Thank you.
I use this clip just like to kind of reinforce this idea of like there has to be a certain amount of, is this going to work or not, or I have no idea if this is actually going to work in what you're doing for you to care about it, at least for me.
And it also is encouraging as a filmmaker when you make your first cut and you're just like, oh no, this is not good. And it like takes a while to like really sort of get to a place where you're feeling good, but also where you're far enough where you can sort of look at it objectively and sort of see what was good and bad about what you've made as well.
You know what? Why don't I, real quick, just share with you, you're going to get multiple quotes for the price of one this week because you're talking about first assemblies. A couple years ago, I, on Twitter, asked the question.
Oh, yes. I remember this thread. So good.
Yes. And so I asked.
Got a lot of great famous directors responding.
I said, has any director ever seen an assembly cut they liked? And I tagged several of my favorite directors that are on Twitter. And these are the responses I got. Chris McQuarrie, writer, director of The Usual Suspects, Edge of Tomorrow, Mission Impossible, Fallout, said of scenes, yes. Of an entire film, no. Again, the question was, has any director ever seen an assembly cut they like? Chris McQuarrie said, of scenes, yes. Of an entire film, no. Ryan Johnson agreed to that and said same. Peter Atencio, director of Keanu and like every Key and Peele sketch ever,
all the great stuff.
said also same. I love watching scene assemblies as I go. Watching the first full cut is unspeakably excruciating. Chris Miller, our boy, said, we never watch first assemblies beginning to end, only a reel a day and give notes, then second pass all the way through to avoid crippling depression, which I think is really smart. Surprise, surprise, Lord and Miller have a smart idea. And then my favorite, it was Brad Bird, who responded saying, it's like describing a sleek, perfectly tailored suit to really smart, talented people in every department. And then you find yourself trying on a heavy, itching, ill-fitting caveman muumuu. We all know what we want, and now we know it's not this, and we get to work.
Incredible.
So I love that.
Incredible talent attached to that tweet. You need to frame that.
And hang it in my bathroom. I have this idea. I want to frame everything involving famous people in my life, like hang them all up in the bathroom. So the bathroom is where you go to see really all my humble brags.
Hey, love it. It's the only place where someone could be private and could actually look at it without feeling creepy.
Look at a picture of me and J.J. Abrams and Tom Cruise.
I'm getting a call. Assuming it's from the studio again, I'll go ahead and put him on speaker and we'll see what happens. Studio, is that you?
Oh, hey, Ryan, it's me. I don't know why I called you.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a joke here.
Hang up then. Is everything okay? I thought it would be the studio.
No, who was that?
What's happening? Hey, studio, is that you?
Oh, hey, Ryan, it's me, Seth again.
Oh, okay.
I just want to apologize for earlier. It was really weird what I did. I called thinking I'd come up with a joke, but I didn't plan anything for it. So
I just thought it was weird since we were already talking on Zoom, and then you also called my landline.
I'm sorry. I'm hanging up. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Who
I
was
guess we
that?
can keep talking about Spielberg. Oh,
Getting a ton of
continue
calls
to call.
today.
I'll hang up and I'll answer again. Here you go. Hello?
Boys, it's the big Hollywood studio.
Well, thank you so much for calling. I thought you were going to be on the... Anyways, what do you got for us?
We're sending over this week's assignment in an email. Let me know if you don't see it.
Oh, okay.
I do see it.
You do see it? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all we need.
This
So,
week,
yeah,
we're looking for a pitch in this genre.
Workplace comedy.
Oh, that's fun.
And we'd like it to have this tone.
Rambunctious.
Nice.
We want to appeal to this target audience.
Outdoor sports enthusiasts. Wow, that's like the rural juror.
In the workplace.
It's a lot of workplace outdoor sports enthusiasts.
And this is our only mandate.
Incorporate the phrase, "It's right behind me, isn't it?" into a crucial scene.
Nice. Classic. Well, thank you so much, studio. We'll get to work on this and let you know how it goes.
We're so excited to hear what you come up with. Talk soon. I love you.
Oh, love you too.
Bye.
See you later. Bye. All right. So we've got our rambunctious workplace comedy for outdoors people. Outdoor sports. Outdoors people.
Outdoors people.
Outdoor sportsmen and the like. And it has to have... I like that. The classic movie scene of "It's right behind me, isn't it?" Maybe we can flip that on its head or something. Do something original with it. And so we just need our 5 ideas and then we can get started. 5 ideas from the idea pile.
Yes. So our ideas this week: a remote island, a serial killer, a kidnapping,
I will find you, and I will kill you.
a dystopian future, and trampled by a family of horses.
Love it. Let's do it. So
Outdoor
you know what that
enthusiasts.
means.
Hit the soundboard, please.
The
Polly.
writer's room game show has begun.
I got to commit to that. I kind of eased out of that one.
Well, we've got about 40 minutes because of our scheduling. We're going to go ahead and give us a little bit less time, but I think that'll got a great movie right in front of us. We got all these fun ideas we've got in our pile to incorporate. Now, workplace comedy. What are the kind of movies that you think, other than like an Office Space, which is the first thing that comes into my mind?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, so movie-wise,
obviously we have stuff like The Office or Parks and Rec in the TV space.
let's see. I'm searching for it, and I don't love the first couple. Good Burger. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so good.
By the way, the director of Good Burger is now the president of Paramount Pictures. Do you know that?
You're kidding.
Brian
I had no
Robbins.
idea. That's incredible.
Yeah. The Intern, Empire Records. This is random from Google, but good examples. It's just like, it's like a contained story, a contained story. But, the king of workplace, not king of, but really good workplace, even if it's not workplace comedy, but Aaron Sorkin writes great workplace dramas. Anchorman is technically a workplace comedy.
I like that. So yeah, maybe we just we play it loose and just like have our stories sort of very rooted in one specific business or company.
Yeah.
Where that's all of our main characters sort of know each other from this place.
The trick is really, we just find a job and then we write a movie that takes place at that job.
And I like the idea of Rambunctious. I guess that's to me is an interesting one, and that like a lot of the Rambunctious stuff is sort of like these characters and the sort of loud. That's another word for it. I'm trying to think of comps for Rambunctious, but yeah, it's sort of these loud, crazy characters.
What if?
But I see our idea pile, and there's a few that like I like the idea of like a kidnapping or like sort of something that's outside the box of your typical workplace to like add some drama or add the conflict around.
I have an idea. I don't know if it involves how many of these ideas we can work into it, but can I just pitch it to you?
Yeah, of course.
So your phone makes these it's basically takes these photos from this day a year ago, 5 years ago,
compiles
whatever,
them all into a fun slideshow.
And I don't know how many normal people watch them. I rarely click them, but whenever I do, I'm like, I should click these more often. But part of it is because
it's fun.
I take a million pictures of something and then I edit it down and I share the photos that I want. And I leave my photos as this dumpster fire in my phone. But we talk about a lot of times, like as directors or whatever, like how great it would be to have that sizzle reel that gets cut at the end of your shoot, like to watch or like the trailer for your movie to watch before you sit down to write it or before you go out and shoot it. It would give you a little bit of hope to keep going. So my thought is, what if there was a way that like your phone or device or something could, okay, what about this? This guy has an email account. He works at like a post house. You know, he's an editor, right? And he's like this quiet dude who's like their go-to like big editor. He emails himself. Somehow he basically as a way of therapy, possibly to even like avoid suicide, is constantly cutting these week in review highlight videos for himself and able to email them to himself a week into the past. Basically, he wakes up every Monday morning and he has a new email that's a highlight reel of the week he's about to have. And it keeps him going, keeps him motivated. And his coworkers find out.
Wait, he's sending them to himself. Like the end of the week, he'll send something and then open the email on Monday morning.
Yes, he'll send it to him on Friday and then open it the previous Monday, essentially. And
wait, he's time traveling?
His email is able. He has an email account that's able to time travel, right? Or he has like opens an account and he's not receiving emails, or he's getting them a week early or something, and he uses it to send these. I don't know how he set it up, but he's able to send himself in the past these like highlight reels of his week. They're like sources of hope for him, and they keep him going. And what if his like coworkers found out about it and they started a business where they offered this service to people, and at first it's awesome and great and they're actually able to make a bunch of money, but then like what if somebody dies? Like, do you tell them? Like, they've paid you money already. Do you send a highlight reel telling them they died? Do you change it? How much do you embellish people's like because they're providing, I don't know. Is that something?
It's really interesting. I don't know how it would, sure there's a way to make it a rambunctious comedy, but I like the idea of it. I like the idea of time travel via email. And it's like everything else is very normal, sort of grounded real life, and then you have a time traveling email account. I
mean, it's very like 2 weeks in a row. They're very Charlie Kaufman-y. Like I see it as like an Eternal Sunshine kind of. What's the Colin Trevorrow movie that got him everything? The Safety Not Guaranteed.
Yes, Big Kind Rewind. Yeah,
it's not really for outdoor sports enthusiasts. I would say.
I was going to say you would have to like have one of the characters like there'd have to be like we have like The Office, and then we have like them. Maybe it's someone who really enjoys going out and hiking and doing stuff like on the weekend, and that's how they are supposed to die or something. To me, the story would be like if they were in the highlight reel, they see that they die or whatever, and someone goes and chooses a different path and doesn't do that thing, and it wreaks havoc on the butterfly effect style, like on the timeline.
Then it's like frequency, like things are changing and like glowy edge, like
yes, exactly.
Futures. And I hate this. I'm sorry I pitched it. I hate it.
And creating a rambunctious comedy about like the changing the trajectory of time, and it's causing all this crazy stuff.
It feels too far out from outdoor enthusiasts. Like I feel like if we're writing for outdoor sports, problem is I would say let's just write a workplace comedy at like a rock climbing facility, but I don't know the culture at rock climbing facilities. I don't know how those places work. The only workplaces I feel qualified to write for are a church, because my dad worked at a church my entire childhood.
Or a company that sells paper, because we've seen 9 seasons of a television show.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Michael, please.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that's one of the ways that we could. I mean, we could just go very surface level with the actual sort of what they do at this job, and make it more like about the characters or something crazy happening that we like. If it is at like in a mountain town, like in Colorado or whatever, and it's like a hiking. I don't know if they're like. Is there people that sort of help you if you're on a hike? They like, or like a white water rafting like guide kind of person, and they have like a HQ where they like I don't know if you've ever been like white water rafting or anything.
Nope. See,
okay,
I'm not qualified at all.
Just because it's like something that's already out, like your workplace is outdoors, and then something goes wrong. Like what are that movie in the early 2000s of like the guys that get lost in the wilderness, and it's like this comedy. It's like Seth Green and you know what I'm thinking about?
Without a paddle.
If it's like they're in a workplace kind of thing, and then they, end up getting lost or something, and it becomes this rambunctious comedy that also is like an adventure element in it. That would be the only way for me to get that demo and the tone and the genre all, together.
Okay.
But I don't know what that is. And like, how would the fresh take on that sort of outdoor sports? That's like biking, hiking, mountain climbing.
Mountain climbing is a big one, I think. Of like
So it starts like Mission Impossible 2 style. Tom Cruise as a velociraptor.
Literally what I go to. It shows you what our lifestyles are like in that we're like rock climbing. Okay, so Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 2.
I mean, that's the go-to. And then like, Cliffhanger or whatever with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, absolutely Cliffhanger, which was the first Movie Magic episode I ever saw. I wonder if you and I should just lean into the fact that we don't know anything about outdoor sports. At least I speak for myself.
It's a comedy. Why not?
So we make our characters people who don't fit that world, and somehow, I don't know, but I feel like we need to know what the rules are in order to break them. But yeah, is there something like without a paddle wow, I never thought I'd say this, but without a paddle is a good reference.
I mean, it kind of is rambunctious, but it's like, so what if, okay, here, I'm using our idea pile. I'm just trying to get stuff out there.
I'm Googling random jobs.
We have people who work at like a rock climbing, they live in a mountain town and there's like a rock climbing place where they're, belaying people, whatever you do when you rock climb. I know nothing about it.
Belaying people? I hardly know her.
But doing this thing and they
Let me
totally don't.
That. Belaying
they totally
people,
don't.
I hardly know people.
That's a joke in the film. But you have these characters who are like just don't belong, but it's like everybody, and it's like they live in Colorado and like half the people you meet are like incredible rock climbers, super, super fit, eat super healthy. And then these guys or girls who are like us and just sort of like aren't into it, but it's their day job or whatever. One of them gets kidnapped. No, this doesn't make sense. I'm trying to incorporate the idea pile because I'm like, to me, like there needs to be something really out of the ordinary that happens that sent them on this rambunctious adventure. Just because to me, like it would be so hard for us to do a traditional sort of office style workplace comedy when we don't know that much about this world. It's got to be something that sort of takes them out of that workplace, but they can use some of the skills that they've learned from work. Maybe
I'm looking up random jobs and I just got. Oh, we didn't do census. We didn't do any. What was our Wes Anderson one?
It was what were they? They were
collection like a.
Yes, they went to they like served people, whatever you call that job.
Here's all I have for this pitch. Here's all I have. Ready? I hate people who do that. Sorry. Ready? Here's the pitch. Ready?
Silence. We open.
Census taker, census employee. All right, like someone who goes door to door, right? Census takers. That's what they're called. So yes. we tell a story in the high stakes world of census taking. And we call the story Taking Names.
That's the whole pitch. That's all we need.
That's it.
I actually love that, Seth. Stroke of genius. And a very boring job, but you see a lot of different interesting people. So I guess these people go door to door to take census, right?
Yeah.
Do we want it sort of your classic wrong place, wrong time kind of thing where
sounds like it.
They go to a house and, they were a witness to something and now it's just pizza time.
There's a cabin at the top of this thing. Like they have to go to I don't know, we're making up rules here, but they have to gather the census information from every single house. And there's this hermit like up in this cabin, or there's a bunch of,
yes, I'm imagining Edward Scissorhands, this normal neighborhood, and then a huge random house at the top of a hill.
Maybe it's like a community of like cabins up in the woods. And like these census takers have to go up and gather this information from these folks up here. And it's just tons of traps, like booby traps up this mountain. There's like, it's like,
okay, insert data from the Goonies saying booby traps, Rene.
I'm setting booby traps. Booby traps. That's what I said. I'm setting booby traps in case of anybody's following us. Like if we're toddlers, so we can hear them coming.
And then also insert, for absolutely no reason, just because it popped into my head, a clip from the film Black Sheep, featuring Chris Farley rolling down a hill for upwards of 2 solid minutes. Play it all right now.
I love it.
Go, Rene. In fact, Rene, if you want, just
leave our dialogue
put it down picture in picture. Just move it down over to the corner and let it play while we continue talking. I just want to see Chris Farley rolling down this hill.
Seth, check it out. Check out Chris Farley.
He's going. God, I loved Chris Farley. Rest in peace. Which is a weird thing to say while you're watching the man roll down a hill for long period of time.
Okay, now put the words in memoriam on the screen.
And then I want you to just interrupt us whenever it happens, Rene. Interrupt us completely so we can hear the line at the end of the scene. Hey!
Oh, I'm getting another call from the studio.
Thank God.
Go ahead and take it. Hey, studio.
Sure, whatever you say.
Oh, it's okay. It sounds like anyways, studio, are you calling today to give us a wild card mandate?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Is it going to be something that's really going to help our movie move along?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. This is the suspense is killing me. Are you going to tell us it now or?
Perhaps.
Right,
Okay,
really playing it coy there, like
playing it
teasing
coy.
us.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Okay,
That sounded even more aggressive. Seth, do you have any questions or comments for the studio?
Shut your damn mouth, Ryan.
Whoa. Okay.
Studio, you need to learn some new vocabulary.
Hey guys, there have been some developments since we last.
What in the hell was that all about?
Spoke. You'll find all the details in the facts we just sent over. It is unclear where my voice is coming from.
Okay, you know,
It's coming from the phone.
It's coming
and
from
also,
the
you
phone.
could have started with that.
I really think you should have led with that, Studio.
Perhaps.
Okay, listen.
Okay, I'm going to hang up now, studio.
Today's
Thank you.
wild card mandate
Oh, no, he's got a wild card.
is
The podcast sponsors have taken over Hollywood and want not only visual product placement, but placement in the actual plot of the film. So figure out a way to make purple mattresses and or HelloFresh an integral part of the story. Neither of which are sponsoring the Writers Room Game Show, I might add.
But can.
But can. We're here, Purple and HelloFresh. The point is here we need to work those into the film as an integral part of the story.
Great. Well, studio, thanks so much for calling. I'm going to hang up now.
bye. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye. All right, so I like where we're going. We got a census taker delivering through booby traps to this cabin up on the mountain.
Okay.
Wow.
And they befriend it's like a romantic comedy between census taker and an Amazon delivery, or not an Amazon, but like a FedEx or UPS delivery. They're delivering a HelloFresh box. And
how amazing! Yes, exactly. Yes, that's great.
And they've got to get it to the place, or it's going to be rotten.
By the time the census person gets there, the HelloFresh delivery person has already like passed a few of the booby traps. Like, oh hey, you're delivering up here too, and it's like
yes, and they become good friends. And then through whatever our adventure is, they end up eating the HelloFresh to survive.
Yes, and they have to like climb up a mountain and do all these sort of crazy a gauntlet of outdoor sports and crazy things to get to this house. And I feel like once they get to the house, it needs to open up and be even more mysterious. Where maybe you would expect that to be the victory, but I don't know. They have to eventually say it's right behind me, isn't it?
A bear, and it's a bear.
It's a bear, of course. But yeah, and the bear's right behind him. That's fun. And maybe the bear right when they get to the house is when they.
All right. We've had a bear before. I feel like it should be something that escaped from the zoo, like something exotic and wild, right? Like
yes,
like a tiger, a straight up tiger is in the woods up here, because up here is like
straight from Shanghai. This tiger is there, very sort of large Chinese tiger in the middle of the Colorado wilderness.
Yeah, huge tiger.
Yes, I love that, dude.
Are they calling again?
Are you
Did you
into
hit that
this?
by accident?
Is the studio? No, let me go ahead and answer it. Here we go. Hello?
Hey guys, there have been some developments since we last spoke. You'll find all the details in the facts we just sent over. It is unclear where my voice is coming from.
Okay, we know where. Okay,
you've said that so many times, studio. I guess we're getting another mandate.
Yeah,
I'm
let
hanging
me check
up.
it out.
I'm sorry, studio.
It says here they want us to pitch now. Why did we put that into the generator? Like, why is that a thing that we unleashed on ourselves? Okay, so we have to pitch.
The studio's getting worse and worse. So we had a total of about 20 minutes.
This episode is a shit show, and I am 100% okay with it.
So we've got our movie taking names. I guess we'll go ahead and bring is our focus group ready?
They can be. Let's make it happen.
Okay, so we're going to bring our focus group in here.
What?
We're going to bring our focus group in here, and I guess we'll go ahead and pitch this movie.
Boom, boom, ba-doom, boom. He's an award-winning cinematographer and a professional handsome-ass man. Please welcome my good friend, Christopher Adams. Chris.
Wow.
You did it.
Thank you.
Rene. Welcome, Chris.
I'm super excited.
So I don't know if you've listened to the show or not.
Long time listener. I'm a little upset because I came here today just to talk about Kids Trap, and you guys talked about that in a previous episode.
Yes.
So
Totally forgot.
The last episode of ours, you got that shout out, the Kids Trap shout out.
It's so good.
I'm hoping that played under your intro. The I Love My Mom song over and over.
Let's actually roll it back. Rene, hit the soundboard, Rene. He is still an award-winning cinematographer and still a professional handsome-ass man. Please welcome my friend, supporter and advocate for Kids Trap, Mr. Chris Adams.
Okay,
he loves his mom.
Let me get into our assignment for today. We were assigned a workplace comedy. The tone is rambunctious. The demo is outdoor sports enthusiasts. The mandate is we needed to have one scene where the characters say, "It's right behind me, isn't it?" And our wildcard mandate was that I guess the podcast sponsors have taken over Hollywood. So the studio is requiring us to have either purple mattresses or HelloFresh be not only a product placement, but a integral part of the story of our film.
Wow.
And unfortunately, our last mandate was that we had to pitch it immediately. So we only got about 20 minutes into our brainstorming when we brought you in. So
all right.
We'll hope for the best, but we have a movie.
Luckily, we had a fully developed story ready to go when we got that call. So not a problem at all. You'll find it's going to be flawless.
Very confident in our idea. Our movie's called Taking Names, and I'm going to pass it off to Seth to kind of set up the plot.
Yeah, nice. So as you probably figured from the title, this is a story about census takers.
Of course.
Who, as you know, travel the globe, not the globe, but they travel.
They have a very adventurous lifestyle, the census takers.
Many roads, many costs to gather information about the population and the citizens of whatever town they are working in or city or whoever they work for, whatever government they're working for. The idea is they're kind of...
Wait, they're working for multiple governments?
Yes, sorry. They are treasonous
Not just the
spies.
United States.
They're freelance, right? You know.
Yes, they're mercenary census takers. And the idea here is that we have this census taker, this guy, we'll call him Guy, and he has to, in this city, he's actually like this like overachieving Nicholas Angel type character from Hot Fuzz. I don't know if you remember the movie Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
He is this like overachieving guy at his company. Nobody else takes this job as seriously as he does. He takes it so seriously, it's kind of gross. And he has gotten all the information he possibly can get from more people than any other census taker. Like this guy is like the king. And he now is tasked with, the county has expanded their jurisdiction. The county is actually, as of this like past month, has now officially brought in this whole other community, this whole other town that was originally part of another county that's been dissolved and merged into this county.
It's out in the mountains of Colorado.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And it's like way up in the mountains. It's just a bunch of cabins. And nobody has ventured into this community and talked to these mountain people in forever. Like they're very reclusive, isolated folks up here. And it's very, very difficult to navigate the roads up here. And, you know, who knows? There actually could be some very shady, mysterious things going on in like we're talking like Lost in this like previously isolated mountain town that now this guy has to venture in.
Yeah. So Guy, we sort of meet him. So that's sort of his call to adventure, so to speak, where the first act we kind of see him with his friends at work in the office or whatever. And we see how he interacts with all of them, but he takes this job very seriously and he's like, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go to the mountain town or whatever. And so he goes on his journey. He delivers he gets the census, every single cabin in the whole village very quickly, kind of gets through it. But there's one more cabin and it's sort of like at the top, like very top of this sort of mountain. And on his way up there, he meets let's just call her Gal. Do I get away with that? Because like Gal
you do.
Gadot.
I'm laughing because I'm sorry, Chris.
Guy and Gal.
Chris, this will be useless to you, but I want you to know that what just popped in my head was in memoriam. Just popped in my head. Chris, you'll understand when you listen to the episode, but it's in my head and not leaving now. Sorry, continue.
But anyways, he meets this gal named Gal, who is actually a delivery person, and she's delivering HelloFresh food to this cabin at the top of the mountain. And what's interesting about this is there's all these booby traps and sort of like obstacles, almost like a gauntlet on the way to this cabin. Whoever lives there does not want them to be there. But for Guy, he's determined. This is the last thing on his list. This is what's going to make him truly like the greatest census
Oh yeah, because that's what it is. The community,
time.
It's not the community that was merged into the town. It's actually this property and this one house. Nobody knows anything about the people that live there. So that's like the ultimate goal is this house, and that is entirely booby trapped. Continue, Polly. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's like, not only is he having to like climb this treacherous mountain and sort of make it through all these traps to get to this cabin, he's also sort of helping this another sort of go-getter gal to like get to her destination. And he's like, why do you care so much about this? You're just delivering food. And she has sort of this like very kind-hearted, like, they need this food to survive, and I'm bringing them, these things. Like, she has this sort of humanitarian look at the HelloFresh.
It's pretty
delivery.
naive too, because they're clearly living and surviving just fine without the HelloFresh box.
So he's booby. This person is booby trapped to this house, but is also ordering.
Has also ordered HelloFresh. Yes.
All right, cool.
Just go with it. And so we sort of have these two characters, and they start to sort of, they play off. It's your classic romantic comedy, will they, won't they, as they make it up the mountain. And Seth, what happens next?
So they're making their way up the mountain, and things are getting weirder and weirder. Like as they're getting up to this house, that they know is up there, like there's these checkpoints, almost like they used to have people working them, like security checkpoints, like these little booths, where you have like the TV and dudes sitting back eating chips, but there's no guy sitting back eating chips. It's like
a Firewatch style, where it's like a little
like years ago. This was probably a thing, like in the 80s or 90s, but it's now overgrown. And so it's even more curious why whoever this was ordered a HelloFresh, up here. We have like that curiosity sustaining their motivation to keep going. Plus, the two of them like each other's company. Although it's probably better if they don't like each other's company, and we have that kind of buddy comedy aspect to it of them learning to get along. And
yeah, definitely.
And like each other.
There's that for sure. And what's interesting is doesn't play like in a few hours. Like, they're up there for days trying to get to this house, and they have to resort to eating the HelloFresh food at some point.
Yeah.
And we see them eat this delicious food. We shoot it as if it's the finest food ever. HelloFresh are very happy, and it funds the entire movie.
We actually cut to the executives at HelloFresh in the film and see their reaction watching the film, and then come back. We break the fourth wall in that regard. At a certain point, they're making their way up. So the idea is that this does start as like this kind of funny, it's kind of genre that's we haven't seen in a long time, which is like that like buddy comedy mixed with a road movie, like outdoor adventure. That's kind of a.
He doesn't want to say it, but the comp is Without a Paddle.
It's not Without a Paddle. There's better versions of this, but you these mid-tier budget comedies that take place in the great outdoors and have a various amount of slapstick to them, whatever. But it becomes even more than that. Is that really? It's like you mix that with the Lost aspect and element of it, and it's like, what is this cabin in the woods compound that they're sneaking onto? Why
and they keep on seeing these figures and the snow, sort of in the fog, kind of move and like silhouetted as if they're being watched as well.
There's snow at some point too. That should be said.
they get high enough on the mountain, it starts to snow, and yeah, that's and then once they get to the cabin, there is a moment where they see a tiger, and it's sort of this crazy, like, why is there a sort of East
let it
Asian
go. The thing is, at one of the checkpoints, they pushed it was just a stone that said, "Don't push this button," and we spend like a whole 10 minutes sequence of them debating whether to push the button or not, and it gets pushed, and they're arguing about whether somebody pushed it, whether one of them pushed it. It gets pushed when we're not looking at it, and it just releases a tiger from a cage nearby. Why? Well, we'll find that out. The third act. Polly, you want to help us know?
But anyways, they're about to open the cabin. They're like, and it's like this creepy thing. They're like, we're finally here. But then they hear this roar, and they're looking around, and then it shows a character, and they gulp, and they're like, it's right behind me, isn't it? Then we see the tiger come out, and they have this crazy sort of battle with the tiger. And
oh my gosh!
Yes, it's really just. I'm so
classic.
sorry.
Classic. So Polly, but what you didn't explain though, Polly, was like, what's really going on here? Do you want to tell Chris what's actually going on here?
I was thinking you might want to do that, Seth.
No, you were wrong.
Oh, shit. Sorry. That
I
was
gotta
our
go.
original timer.
I'm being called by the hospital. I have a broken leg, it turns out.
Yeah, so sorry, guys. I got to go. Anyways, they eventually befriend the tiger. They have some leftover HelloFresh food that the tiger enjoys and sort of becomes their friend. It's this kind of crazy, like, I can't believe this is happening kind of thing. Anyways, they enter the cabin and...
Keep going. This is
what
so intriguing.
what
I
happened,
can't wait.
Seth?
I can't wait for you to hear this, Chris. It's so good.
Wow.
And I really don't have anything, Seth. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'll help you figure it. So
I did the tiger thing. It's your turn.
So the
pretty sure-
tiger like opens the door, or like he's in there, or he. No, I
Tiger
guess he
learns to
sneaks up
open
behind
doors. Tiger learns to open doors, and that becomes a whole
Okay.
plot point.
them. Okay, yeah.
And then they open the cabin, and it turns out it's no. So I think it's awesome, right? Great.
Yeah, and I think we're still figuring out the ending, but we want it by the end for this guy and gal to sort of have fallen in love, and they ski down the mountain at the end, and live happily ever after. And that's our story. That's Taking Names.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll figure out
Exactly.
the kinks, obviously, but essentially what you're looking at is an outdoor comedy adventure story about a census taker and a delivery person mixed with Lost. So think of it like Game Night is a good comp for like in terms of tone.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
Do you have any questions before we ask you some questions?
Wow. So the census taker, he's like just super determined. Like the booby
Yes.
traps, the tiger, like it's not deterring him. He's just very job focused.
That's his one goal in life. He's always
Yeah.
wanted to be the best at what he does. So it turns out what he does is census taking, and he'll stop at nothing to achieve greatness. He's like
Yeah.
the MJ of census taking.
Michael Jackson?
Exactly. Yes.
He'll stop at nothing.
I was
No, I
going
mean,
for
it
Michael
sounds-
Jordan, obviously, Seth.
I thought you
Sounds
meant
fully,
MJ from Spider-Man also. There's a lot of MJs in my life.
Sounds fully fleshed out. So yeah, I'm in.
Is there any additions you would make to the story, Chris?
Will you write this for us?
Wow. Yeah. So I feel like you need a little bit of like some stakes in there for
Okay. Like in the HelloFresh box, or like,
Yeah, like those kind of
we were
stories.
thinking chicken.
yeah. So Gal, what's her motivation? Why is she so determined to deliver this food that they're eating along the way?
She is good at her job. And well, when she was, she has this secret that she doesn't tell anybody that's kind of what motivates her and drives her. When she was a child, her family was trampled by a family of horses, and while on vacation.
Like Mufasa style.
Yeah.
Her whole family?
Yeah, her whole family. It turns out her uncle threw her father and the rest of her family into a canyon where they were promptly trampled by a family of horses. And weirdly, the uncle was also trampled as well. It wasn't a very thought out plan.
God.
So she never actually learned what his plan actually was, because they didn't hold any kingdom of any kind, middle class family. And yet this horrible tragedy happened seemingly needlessly. And so that kind of motivated her to never give up at anything.
Yeah,
So
I
she
feel like
doesn't.
you could work something in there where, like, she is an outdoor enthusiast. She's like a rock climber or something that like could solve these booby traps. Like she does these deliveries a lot, and so she's like, I'm going to help this
Definitely.
poor guy out.
It's in the movie.
Yeah.
That's what we were thinking too. We were absolutely thinking that. She's the
I think we
outdoor
forgot to
enthusiast.
mention that in the pitch.
She's the outdoor
We were thinking
enthusiast.
the
And
same thing.
he is not. Like he is obviously just a
Right.
dude
She
that's-
feels bad for him. Yeah, totally. I saw that.
And he's
I
really
felt that.
cocky and arrogant and thinks, well, I'll get up there before you do, and because I'm a man and you're a woman, and
No chance.
women are the inferior species because they're different species, as he believes. Turns out he's a real creep.
And she has a real vendetta against horses, too.
Well, yeah, maybe I was thinking like.
So when the horse comes at the top of the mountain, she says, "It's right behind me, isn't it?"
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Switch it out for the tiger.
Good.
Yes.
Good is the right word. Well, he sees a tiger, she sees a horse. His family was trampled by tigers when he was young. And so
That's what really bonds them,
Yeah, whatever it basically what's in that cage appears as whatever trampled your family when you were a child. So some people don't see anything. Most people
so
don't
that's-
see anything when they look into
That's the lost sort of like spiritual realm.
Yeah.
that
But
they've
only
gotten into.
not what what killed your family. It was what trampled them.
what trampled.
So
That's why most
only-
people don't see anything.
Only
Very
death by
specific.
trampling. Yeah, that's beautiful, Seth. That's beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay, Chris. Well, we have a few questions for you.
Can't wait.
We'd like you to rate these 1 to 10, these questions. So how likely
Rate
are
the
you
questions
to see this?
and how good the questions are. Rate on a scale of 1 to 10.
How likely are you to see this movie? 1 to 10. 1 being I wouldn't see this movie. 10 being absolutely. I'm watching this right when this ends.
I mean, like I feel like the comedic tone is there. Like the game night comp is good. I liked Lost. I don't really know how those are gonna meet up, but I mean, I don't know. I could see myself watching this movie. I would say.
Wow. Would you watch a video of yourself watching this movie?
I absolutely. That's what I do with every movie.
That's right. I forgot that you watch B-roll of yourself watching movies. Sorry. So what was that number then?
That's going to be a 5. 5. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
So how likely are you to recommend this movie to a friend?
Oof, like before I've seen it, or like we're assuming that I saw it and loved it. I guess if I loved it, I would recommend it.
We're assuming there's a 50% chance that you are likely to see this movie.
Well, if you saw it and it was exactly what you right now think it's going to be, would you recommend it to a friend?
Oh, absolutely. I'll go 7.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's great. So let me go over our assignment again. I'm going to ask you to rate how well we adhered to the assignment. We have a workplace comedy that is rambunctious for outdoor sports enthusiasts. There's a scene where they say, "It's right behind me, isn't it?" And HelloFresh is an integral part of the story. How well did we adhere to that assignment?
Well, I mean, I guess workplace is solid there. It's pretty rambunctious. The outdoor sports enthusiast, I feel like, could use a little bit of work, So I'm going to go 6.
Okay, hey, that's solid. I feel good about that. And then lastly, rate the overall idea, 1 to 10.
Ooh. I'm going to go with a 5.
That is much better than I thought it was going to be. And
I don't know why. It just doesn't feel like you guys spent a lot of time on it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's not really our fault. This is a timed podcast in which
the studio is being... how would you describe how the studio is being to us today, Seth?
Malfunctioning.
Malfunctioning. And then we also, we didn't tell you, but we had a pile of 5 ideas that are generated from ideas that me and Seth have before. Those 5 ideas were a remote island. Didn't hit that. We probably should have placed it on a
These
remote
are 5
island.
ideas that we have the option to include into the idea.
Yes.
And if we include, you get it.
Serial killer, a kidnapping.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
Someone trampled by a family of horses. And what was the 5th one, Seth?
And a 5th one that we don't remember.
It looks like we just got one of those, which means that's 2 points added to our total, which means
a 25 total. What's the studio?
I'm getting a call from the studio. I'm going to put it on speakerphone. We'll see how it goes. Doesn't look like we sold it.
Good luck.
Hello, studio. Are you there?
I'm afraid this one's going to be a pass.
Well,
man.
Okay. Can you give us a little more feedback, though, about it? It would help us just to improve in the future.
It just wasn't the right fit for us at this time. If we were focused on making movies that were bad, it would have been a better fit.
Okay.
Damn, that was a little harsh, but I guess thanks anyways. We'll try our best.
Well, I would love to know, like, I mean...
We haven't gotten this call before, Chris.
We haven't. I just would love to know some more feedback from the studio if possible.
We absolutely loved it. We just don't ever want to make it, ever.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's fair. Well,
seems very
is that all?
The great Tony Hawk. We think you should leave the script behind and focus on something original.
Right. Okay, I remember when Tony Hawk said that. Wow, I didn't know that was a well-known, openly known feedback.
Well, that's I guess that's it. Studio, we're gonna hang up. Hopefully, we do better next week. Sorry for wasting your time.
Sure, whatever you say.
Okay, bye.
Talk to you later.
Wow, no hugs and kisses that time.
No,
that's rough.
Yes.
Sell it.
And he even went to quote Tony Hawk's agent or whoever we talked to last time.
Incredible.
Sorry,
guys. Hey, remember what I said? Failing at something new is always more fulfilling than succeeding at something again. Hit the soundboard, Rene. Take us out.
The Writers' Room Game Show with me, Ryan Pauly, and Seth Worley. Executive produced by Grant Wakefield at Weekend Video and Ann Fogerty at Plot Devices. Edited to perfection by Rene Gomez. Our art is by your buddy, Meg Lewis, and our face-melting music by Ben Worley. The Writers Room Game Show is a Weekend Video production in association with Plot Devices. Learn more about Weekend Video at weekend.video and check out writersroomgame.show to listen to all of our episodes and suggest your own prompts for future shows. And don't forget to rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts. It really helps our show out a lot. See you in the next one.